So, what do you do when nothing works? Nothing helps. You've tried a bunch of things and it doesn't seem to be working. Great question. So, I have this question here, and this question, where did it vanish to on my screen? Um, this question is phenomenal. This is from Burgundy. Where can I find I didn't understand it at first because it says, where can I find my sons? And then no matter the strategy, list, chart, routine, song, consequence, reward system, on and on. I can't get my son to follow through with adaptive skills. He's 7, second grade, ADHD, SPD. So now I didn't understand the question at first. And then I saw there was like a bunch of comments and I'm like, okay, well, they understand it. So I went and looked at it more closely and looked at the comments. And what I'm gathering from this is like, when people are trying a bunch of things and nothing's helping, what do you do? So I'm going to give you some thoughts about that. What do you do when nothing seems to work? Nothing seems to be helping. So here's the thing. The very last comment on that thread, I really liked because somebody said, this thread makes me so sad and depressed. I was hoping each year got better. And then somebody said, our stories may be outliers. Don't give up hope. Well, your stories are not outliers, but don't give up hope, because what all the experts that are on TIFOS, and I even asked one of them at one point, I'm like, is there any reason for hope? And it was a rhetorical question, but because of course there is, because that's what we all do. And I know that people have that question. That's why I posed it to one of the experts on the summit. So is there any hope? Yes, 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 yes. What happens when nothing works? Things will work. I think that when I talk to the experts, and as you go through this summit, you're going to see this theme over and over and over. And that is this. This stuff takes time, patience, and persistence. Time, patience, and persistence. I'm in the business of helping create change. That's what all these experts are in the business of. And I've been doing this a long time, and we see change in families and in kids. But what I also hear from the experts is something that I see in my work a lot, which is that what people are often looking for, I think we just live in such a quick fix society that people want a quick fix. And the way that I created TIFOS is immerse yourself in the entire weekend and you'll learn something. It's not just like, go get some tips. I know you all don't just think that, but it kind of permeates our culture. And what happens is parents get guidance from somewhere, maybe from schools, from programs, from whatever, and they get some tips and they want to implement them, and they try all these things, and then it doesn't take. Now, other families with just as complicated of kids try things and they do take. What's the difference? Well, I think it is that persistence. And it's that, I think one of the good things about the summit is being able to back up and not look so much at the strategy or tip or trick or thing like that, but to look at what's behind that. What's the reason for it? What's going on? And what happens is that I talk about that baby steps are everything. So if you hear nothing from this chat right now and you're like ready to turn this off, hear this. Baby steps are everything in this game. I say that all the time because it's true. And this is what all these people say. And it's so good to be affirmed by all these experts when I'm interviewing them even. But this is about baby steps. Sometimes we get big breakthroughs. Sometimes we get huge shifts, but that's rare. And usually it's a result of a million tiny baby steps. And there will come a day, I promise you, if you're persistent and keep trying things and keep adapting things, I promise you will come to a day when you look back and you go, whoa, we're not there anymore. But getting there, it seems like it can be so far ahead. You don't see where the end is, but you will get there. Okay. This stuff works. The brain changes. And I'm not saying, the brain, like I still struggle with executive function. Absolutely, positively, 100% every day of my life. Okay. It's not gone, but I've learned to work with my resistance. I've learned strategies. I've learned what works for me. I've learned what I teach, which is called Frankenstudy, how to tailor things to myself. But I've also really learned the principles behind execution, the areas where I struggle. Like, what is the what are the principles of planning? Like, I'm not going to give someone, like, people will often ask in my groups or in emails to me, what's the best planner to use? Well, the question right there is faulty. Just that question in and of itself, what's the best? There is no best planner. But if you understand the principles of planning, then you can help somebody choose a planner that is better for them, and then they can work with that or change it later because they're understanding the principles of planning. So if I'm going to tell somebody what the best one is, I need to sit down with them, get to know them, and help figure that out, what it is for their brain. So these things are not quick. They're not easy. They're not just tips and tricks and stuff. It's like, we really need to understand the principles behind the things. Do not give up. What you are doing matters, and it is having an impact on your child. It may not seem like it, but it is. It is. They sense the love and the concern and the care. That is, in and of itself, is so important. They understand, even if it's not conscious, they sense your effort. And so I think what's really frustrating for parents, though, is spinning your wheels and trying multiple things and not knowing if it's, we don't want to do that. That's not helpful, but sometimes you have to do wheel spinning to figure out what doesn't work so that you can find what does. But we don't want to just be stuck there. We want to feel like we're getting traction. And again, that is why this weekend is so important to me. But it goes so deep so that you can really make sense of what's happening. Now, I'll finish with this last thing. There's a bait and switch. The great bait and switch of the whole summit is this. People usually come to the summit and to my work, and a lot of these experts, they'll come to our work because of behavior, because they're concerned, because of failing grades or grades dipping, or they're seeing some really big challenges they don't know what to do with. What ends up happening with the bait and switch is that we come to find out that what a lot of this stuff is about the relationship. It's about the nervous system. It's about secure attachment. It's about things that you might not think about. And it's a lot of it is the parents' work rather than or in conjunction with trying to help the child. And so there's this big bait and switch, which I'm in love with, that whole concept in this. It's, I think, pretty cool because it makes things more accessible. Anyhow, do not give up. You're in the right place, and you are asking questions, and people responded. You're not alone. I mean, this is why people come to me, is because they're in that place. So no, this is not outliers. This is all too common. We have systems, school systems, very old, outdated school systems that are not designed for these types of brains. How do we help these kids? It's complicated. It's not just a quick thing. And I hope you get a lot out of this. All right. Hang in there. Go connect with your child. Oh, if you haven't registered, the link will be in the chat in a second. And if you like what we're doing, please share it. We put a lot of heart into this. Snag the link, share it with somebody. Take care. Go connect with your kiddo. Take care.